Hello Internet, welcome back to our fire series. In the last episode we cleared out a pharmacy. Got quite a few books, I mean, it was a lot for a pharmacy. It's not really a lot as far as things go. We did get a lot of first aid kits, and we also found vitamins, so like the injectable iron, which is pretty cool. I really like that they added these things because it really fills out some of the item groups that previously would have just dumped the same medication over and over. And we still saw that. If we look at aspirin, we now have 440 aspirin, which, is admittedly a common thing in a pharmacy. In fact, let's mark that pharmacy as explored. I can't see my keyboard. Go ahead and mark you as explored. Oh, there's really nowhere else. I mean, we did mostly clear this area. There was some monster density here, but it's not anything we can't circumvent. So I think we head out and check these other houses because we can. And I think we just go. Do I have aspirin in my inventory? I do. And bandages for emergencies. We have a steak knife. Did we ever find a better butcher tool? I doubt it. Steak knife is pretty good. We have the X-Acto knife. Our backpack is damaged to the point where it's going to fall apart, but that's okay. Do we need to take the cart with us? I don't think we do. There was also a cart in the pharmacy if we really needed something, but I don't really think we do. Let's take a peek at our veggies. They're growing over there. It's going to be a long time before they're harvestable. I don't even know if we'll still be here when they're harvestable. I planted them because I've been really neglecting farming and animal raising and that kind of stuff. Oh, I should put my headphones on so I can hear what you're hearing. Just in case there's a dramatic sting revealing that there's a whole horde of enemies in front of us. Yeah, also talked about some toxicity on the internet. In the last episode, we talked about a potential war with Iran a little bit. Shouldn't have talked about that, probably. Why don't we draw some of them to us? Oh, it looks like we got a little more than I wanted all at once, but that's okay. They're mostly regular zombies. Come here, sir. I know you're an officer of the law, but presumably your loot would be nice. Ignore. Two-way radio has a disposable in it. We'd probably take that. Oh, man, my back is killing me. I think I slept on it wrong because, it's dead center of my back, a little bit below my shoulder blades. I feel this sharp, constant pain every time I bend or try to lift anything with my right arm. So, that sucks. It hurts pretty bad. Of course, I've been taking aspirin, or not aspirin. What are you? Ibuprofen. But, can't. Ibuprofen is pathetic and doesn't really do anything for me. Should have rested to get our stamina back. We are going to have to engage this feral runner before we would be able to rest. Seems fine. We really should start some vehicle work, probably. Items on the ground. Empty battery, but it's one of the big batteries. We'll take the Coke and we'll take the high-capacity battery. Give me that. Check the vehicle. No wheels. Of course. Oh, smash him as well. Don't let him come back. Although it was one of the legless ones. I think the crawling zombies turn into the decayed devourers, so we really ought to kill them when we see them. Let's get our stamina back before we do anything. Pretty significant monster density over here. Probably a running vehicle that they're attacking. So it looks like they've been in this house. So what I think we'll do, we'll head north. Try to get eyes on where that turret was if it's nearby. Gonna let these guys come to us and clear them out a little bit. We kind of want this area clear anyway because this is where the forge and kiln are, and we're definitely going to be using them in the future. The only other things, so the backpack was destroyed, which is fine. That's what I was expecting to happen. We're going to take this other high capacity battery. And again, we have redundant backpacks, so we were wearing that one as just additional storage. So not really a significant issue. I guess we just go to the houses. I'm a little nervous to head into the house here because of the zombie density to the south, but other stuff I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about other games, and I know that I do that a lot, and I feel like people maybe don't want to hear that. You gotta understand, still relatively new at YouTube, still pretty dumb, don't really know what you want, internet. You should tell me what you want, what you really, really want, because I don't know. I don't know the words. Do they say zig-a-zig-ah? It's so nonsensical. You remember the Spice Girls? I remember the Spice Girls. Spice Girls movie came out when I was 12. And I remember thinking they were all wildly attractive. Sporty Spice was the best. Anyway, oh, someone in the comments told me that one of the basements I went into up here was the auto dock basement. I actually missed that. So thank you for the comment. We don't have CBM stuff, so I don't think it's a huge priority, but I don't know if they can contain CBM, so it may be worthwhile to go back and check that out. I still don't know what the auto dock basement really looks like, so I don't know that I would spot it immediately. We already have a wrench, but I will take a backup wrench. In fact, we will disassemble this lawnmower as well for blades. Where did you... Were you there the whole time? I didn't see you. Smack, smack, smack. Faux fur tail. No, I'm good. We'll go ahead and drop this where there's light. Where lawnmower is in the other category. Big surprise. Can we take apart the lawnmower? You will get scrap metal, springs, blades, cylinder, and one cylinder engine, a metal tank of 2 liters. Yeah, give me some of this. Metal tank, sure. And the blades are what we really wanted out of that, because blades can be manufactured into crude weapons. Although at this point, again, with the forge, I don't know how relevant that really will be. I remember liking them before, but I haven't really made a weapon out of the blades in a long time. Do we need anything? Laundry basket is really good for like a jillion little plastic chunks, but we really don't need plastic chunks. There's another basket. So they're a little more common than they used to be, I would guess, because it used to be really hard to find laundry baskets. Skirt, yukata, no. Hoodie, no. Blazer, no. Hoodie, no. None of this is really interesting. It's nice that you have like a little downstairs apartment in your house, though. That's pretty cool. Good for a failure to launch, like myself, someone who never did make it out of the family house, basically. That's not fair. I lived with a girlfriend briefly. It just didn't really work out. Back when I was like 20, we lived together for about a month, and then she was basically sick of me, and I think we broke up, and that was the end of it. Cannot close a window without curtains. Weird that there's just one window here without curtains. Peculiar. Someone obviously did that intentionally, because they would just use the same symbol to represent all these. They had to separately insert a window without curtains, I think. So it's a little confusing why he would do that. I think most people have curtains all over their house. Definitely take the fruit and whatnot. Salted fish. Okay? Not my favorite thing in the world. Fruit is rotten. How much time is left on the orange? 2 weeks? Citrus tends to be fine. We already have a Cucina Italiana. Splatter guard. Mesh screen for preventing flying oil from getting all over your nice counters or you when frying. I've never had such a thing. You know, I don't know if we ever picked up a frying pan. We need one for the kitchen unit eventually. Chef knife probably is better than the steak knife. No. A chef knife has lower butchering quality than a steak knife. Interesting. Most steak knives are like serrated, not the best knives in the world. A chef knife is like meant for everything. Characteristic curve for a fast rocking action for chopping vegetables. So maybe it's intentionally meant to be like a veggie cut knife, but chef knives are an all-around knife. You would never use a steak knife over a chef knife. Okay, what was I going to talk about? Video games. Yeah, so like I don't know what to talk about. Most of the time I come in, I talk about YouTube, which I think is something I need to get away from. Ballistic glasses will take the gold ring. Why not? Because I think people don't care. I think some people like the behind-the-scenes YouTube stuff, but I think more people don't like that stuff. So I try not to do that too much, although it's always on the forefront of my mind. So it's an easy thing for me to talk about when I don't really have anything else to talk about. That furniture tile looks new to me. I have no interest in roller skates or anything like that. Chaps we can take for leather. Oh, hello. I didn't even see you. But you're not a threat because we have a wooden weapon. So, you're dead. Slugs are pretty good. Weird that the poncho is not filthy when everything else is filthy. Oh, because it's folded. It's not actually a clothing item until it's unfolded. So it can't be filthy. So yeah, games. So there are 2 games in my life that I come back to over and over and over again. In the history of my life, I've always come back to these 2 games. repeatedly. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, Cataclysm. Cataclysm's one of them. You're incorrect. I do love Cataclysm, and Cataclysm will probably fit in that category as well. They've spotted us, so just let them come on over here. We'll clear them out. Every time we have a chance to engage one or two at a time, we really ought to, just to save ourselves from an encounter later on when we might be in a less fortunate position. It looks like he went in the alley down here. Where'd you go, bruh? Maybe he went into this house, which this is the one with the monster density at the south, so we need to be really cautious as we move forward. And we'll be careful as we go. Where did your corpse go? Invalid direction? Oh, it's in the sink. Corpse in the sink. I don't think we really want anything out of these junk drawers. If we see large quantities of string, we'll grab them. No, but there's two games that my whole life I've come back to repeatedly. And it's because both of them, I really like tea. Do these go bad? Tea leaf times 20, dried leaves. So no, I really want tea. I love tea in real life, so we're going to take that. We're also basically full, so I think we're going to head back to our base after we deal with these people. Looks like she decided to go into that house instead of coming to engage us. Two games, number one. And both of them are games that were like I was an impressionable youth. So for me, they're hardcore nostalgia for me. They're not even, like, one of them isn't even very good. It's just that I love it so much because I was a kid when I engaged with it. It really meant a lot to me. But anyway, the two games would be, number one, Magic the Gathering. I learned to play Magic the Gathering when I was, like, 7. I don't know how old I was exactly, but my uncle taught me. It was the same year that the game first released. So I played with those original cards, which they're, like, the foundation of the game. Like, you can look back at those cards and say, like, people still base cards today on those cards. So, like, a creature that costs, is a 2/2, whatever, they call it a bear, because in those original sets, the bears were a 2/2 creature that everyone knew was very iconic. And so it's become lingo within the game because, so, like, being able to play with those original cards that, people really like and still refer to, that's pretty neat. My uncle taught me way back when. One of the really good memories I have of my uncle. Anyway, and then the other is Everquest. And that's because when I was about 12, my family bought me... No, they didn't buy it for me. I mean, they did. But the reason we got it was because I used to get these game magazines, which I assume were probably Game Informer. But I don't remember. I think it was like PC Gaming World was a magazine. I don't know if they still have it. It used to come with demo discs of these different games. And there was a game on there called Meridian 50, 51, 59. I don't remember. It's the very first MMO really ever. It wasn't very popular. EverQuest was the first truly popular, exceptionally successful MMO. So I got this demo disc with Meridian on it, and I was like, man, this sounds awesome. It came with a manual. The manual talked about lots of these spells in detail and how to use them effectively, and I was like super into it. And then I couldn't get it to run, and I believe at the time it was because their servers had shut down temporarily, because it was an old issue that had given me this demo disc. You take this drill. And I was really, like, genuinely upset. And then I started reading these articles about EverQuest and how EverQuest was like this successor to this other game that I didn't get to play. And I was like, man, I really, really want this. And so at the time we had dial-up internet, and I basically begged my family to buy me EverQuest. And at the time it was Kunark. If any of you are fans of the series, it was the Kunark expansion, which is where they introduced the lizard people and, like, the ruined cities and stuff. Really loved that. And yeah, and it was an ongoing expense. My family asked me constantly, like, hey, do you still play this? It has a monthly subscription we're paying for. We were very poor. It was a big deal to have them buy me something like that. And I would, no matter what, I would say yes, even if I wasn't really playing it, because I really, really loved that game, and I liked being able to come back to it when I wanted to. Hearing a lot of smashing, a little concerned it's going to be a big horde. Just two of you? They don't seem to know I'm over here. Come here. Okay. And, yeah, I played this game pretty much every waking hour for a long time, Everquest, because it was the first one. There were real people in the game, so it was really cool to play a game with other people, which I'd never really been able to do outside of like local co-op, like in like Jazz Jackrabbit or something like that, where it's literally you and your brother playing. And so it was like crazy to me that there were like thousands of people in this world, and I would run past them and they'd run past me, and they'd say hail, which is like how you say hello, and they would give you these random buffs for no reason other than because you walked by and they were being nice. And it's like, really, I have a lot of good memories. And it was this huge expansive world where, like, back then there were no teleporters or anything. You basically walked everywhere, and it was like, if you were going from one city to another, it was like you could have ended up walking through the world for like 2 hours trying to get there. And I just loved everything about it. And there were lots of monsters, and there were cool dungeons, and you could equip your character with things that changed their appearance. All these things were not new, but they were these big, expansive ideas that I had never really seen executed very well in the game. And because it had such an impact on me at like a formative time of my life, we never checked the North House over here. Why don't we pop in here since we already came all the way over here? And we still have inventory space. And it's always stuck with me. I go back to Everquest pretty often. I played it like a year ago. And lately, I've really been getting the urge to play some Everquest. And like, oh, and like that too, I didn't mention this. At one point, I ran a private Everquest server with my own items and stuff. And at one point, not just me, it was other people. But, you know, we had a private server. And then we also had, I'm not going to say which server, but there was a very popular Everquest private server that I wrote lore for. So like they had their own lore, and I wrote some of that as part. I mean, I didn't get paid. It was just because I loved the game and believed in what they were doing, trying to recapture that old feeling of what Everquest used to feel like, because the actual game of Everquest has evolved to be, they really tried to mimic WoW a lot. When WoW was getting really popular, they made a lot of changes that I don't necessarily agree with. We have wheels, we have battery, we have a tank of gas. A tank of clean water is a bit peculiar. What is this? It's an RV. Okay, that makes sense. Presumably has a kitchen unit in it. Let's take a peek around it and see what kind of monster density it. Okay. Ooh, and corpses is not good, because that means, yeah, I was going to say some of these other peculiar creatures will be around. This slime will not attack us. This one will. They don't attack the zombies. These are all basic zombies and some brainless. I really want this RV. What's to the north? Just more basic zombies. There are too many to engage all at once. Let's step out. Who all can see me? 1, 2, 3, 3. We're going to let them come over here, and we're going to move north and risk being exposed to more, because we do not want them to damage the RV, because we're going to be taking the RV. And yeah, so like I really love Everquest, and I go back to it, you know, most of my life I've gone back to it every year or so, when I was able to. And now it's like, it's free. You don't have to pay the subscription unless you want the most recent expansion. The private servers are mostly dead, unfortunately, so it's like, the one I used to work with, they're gone. They don't exist anymore. I don't know why they don't exist. I mean, it literally exists, but there's no, I checked the populations, there's nobody there. So it's like, I don't really know what happened there or why that became so much less popular than it was. 'Cause it was pretty big at one point. And I've really been having the urge recently to go back to it. Yesterday, I basically took the day off with YouTube. We're going to move forward to keep him from hitting the vehicle. I mostly took the day off from YouTube. My niece was here, spent some time with my niece, and I don't like to record when she's here. And I didn't edit. Well, I did edit, but not a lot. It basically was my day off. And I spent that day downloading Everquest again. And the problem is, so much monster density. We can't just drive through here. We don't want to pick up a bunch of trails as we go back to base. We don't want them to follow us all the way back to base. And we know there was monster density down here. There's monster density all along this road. I think we reposition and try to draw the enemies to us and then clear them out by hand. How's our quarterstaff? Is doing great. Not sure why the first one took so much damage when this one's been so resilient. Let's go ahead and rest. And yeah, the problem, and it's kind of a big problem, is that I don't play games unless I'm recording. So all of my gaming time is when I'm recording. The games you're watching me play, that's all that I'm playing. I'm not playing anything else. It's just whatever is being put up on the channel. Because one, I don't have time to do it, and two, I feel bad when I do it. Because if I'm playing a game, it means I'm not editing or working towards something on YouTube. So like I feel guilty for taking time for myself. So I really want to record some Everquest. The problem is I'm not... Oh, Toolbox is real good. I'm not good at Everquest. It's not like you know, you mostly only want to watch people on YouTube if they're good at what they're doing. I'm really not. I would be in it for the nostalgia. It would just be for fun. You know, I just would not be super efficient. I'm not very min-maxy. I tend to just play for fun, which is not what people want to watch. They want to watch you be the best of the best, you know. If there are still YouTube, like people who do Everquest, they probably are very high tier and they raid a lot, and that's what they put up on the channel. So like that's one aspect that's not great. Second aspect is that Everquest is pretty hideous by today's game standards. When I was a kid, I thought it was so cool, but that was 15 years ago, you know. I was like 12 when I started. It was like 18 years ago I played Everquest for the first time. Did not mean to draw the horde from down there. Wasn't really thinking, and I was going to push up and clear those enemies. And now we've alerted a pretty big group here. There's also a big group down here. Why is there a big group down here? So we've alerted 5 or 6. I don't think we can afford to smash this at the moment. I think we want to get inside, put a door between us, and get our stamina back. No, don't stop. Oh, spotted? Yeah, so they came right for the door. It's a little surprising. We're going to try to get our stamina pretty far back. Yes. Really not getting a chance to rest here. So we're going to let them come in. They are not going to be prevented from coming in by the furniture. Okay. So we want to kind of hopefully kill some of them before they're able to push into the room. Because if they surround us, we're going to be way more likely to get bites and things, and they're going to deal more damage to us. Looks like we largely cleared out the ones that were immediately behind us. And so yeah, I'm thinking about spotted. Yes. Oh, he's way away. Okay. No. No, no. Okay. So I'm thinking about recording some Everquest, and I don't think people will watch it. And so it probably won't be very much on the channel, but like it's a really good game for banter. Like if you haven't played Everquest, it's basically an MMO, but it's way more. Most of the quality of life stuff from World of Warcraft does not exist, so it's like there are amounts, but they're not easily accessible at low levels. They're usually very expensive, or at least they were last I played. You kind of have to hoof it from place to place. Most of the game you can't really solo unless you take a class that's good at soloing. You need to be in groups a lot. I really don't like playing in groups, so like it's very slow going for me. And you still haven't seen me, huh? And it would just be me basically grinding enemies, you know? It's weird that it has not spotted us, and yet it seems to be moving directly at us. Can they only see one tile away from them? That's interesting. I don't think I knew that about blobs. If we were smart, we'd probably collect the blobs for like future mutagen stuff. See what we got up here. More blobs. Some enemies way up there. Let's check the corpses. What kind of corpses? Nanofabricator template. State-of-the-art optical storage system. This small slate of transparent glass holds inscribed as a miniature pattern the instructions required to create an item through a nanofabricator. The hell is a nanofabricator? I have no idea. But we definitely want that because it references power armor, which is like real good. I would like to keep the cooking oil. What can we get rid of? Didn't we pick up some ammonia? Was that on a different trip? Okay, so let's drop detergent. Definitely pick this thing up. And we're going to check these other corpses as well because that sounds really valuable. And yeah, you basically grind. Like Everquest is grinding, is the name of the game. It's a very slow progression. How did you all see me? You all had not seen me, and now you have seen me. And I'm running low on stamina. We should be okay to deal with 3 of them, although it will be nearly depleting our stamina, I would imagine. I was going to say it depends on if we hit the child or not. And we did, so we don't have to worry about missing them 100 times and losing all our stamina. Let's go ahead and rest real quick. Ignore. And yeah, I would really, I think, like to play that. And I don't think people would watch it. We got a CBM. Oh, I really don't want to have to walk back. Well, we know we're taking the RV. Are we sure this runs, by the way? Let's check it again. Faulty engine. And it seems to be losing battery charge. Why would it be losing battery charge? Why would you be losing battery charge? Control, turn off fridge. That would be why. Go ahead and check this. Okay, 0 watts. So it's not going to deplete its batteries. Let's check the engine. What's wrong with the engine? Oh, water pump is a real bad one. If I remember right, because it's like the one you cannot make yourself. Mechanical pump. Not good for much of anything on its own. I don't think this is the right pump. What do we need to mend this? Mechanical pump. So we can make that, but it requires a higher mechanic skill, which we can grind. Does it start? Let's check the back here. There is stuff in the fridge. Oh, it's just bacon though. So it comes with a stove, a fridge, a bed. This would be a fine start for a vehicle. I don't love that there's no back door. I don't love that these are trunks instead of is it a trunk? It is a trunk. Instead of cargo spaces, I don't need the extra seats. Oh, don't hit my car. Okay. Ignore. Yeah, I've really been thinking about Everquest a lot. And I don't know if I should play it or not. Let's drive this baby back to base. First time driving in quite a while, so hopefully we don't plow into anything like an idiot. I think we'll be fine. Let's run over the corpse, see if it actually pulps it. Because now driving over things does deal damage to items. It looks like it did. Let's speed up a little bit because we don't want to... up. Yeah. Thought we could skirt by this. Failed miserably. It destroyed the... No turn. Destroyed the wheel of the hippie van, but that shouldn't be any problem for our RV, I think. We did lose a side mirror, it looks like. I don't know if that was attached previously or not. So we need to just park this baby right out front, which hopefully means we're not going to get monster density over here because they'll just ruin this thing. Do you have solar panels on you? You have no solar panels, so we would be 100% dependent on the engine running for energy. Max 146 kilowatt. It's a fair bit of charge, and it does have a storage battery, so we could run this a lot and just gather up a lot of gasoline to fill those storage batteries and plop a recharger in it, maybe use the fridge. I don't think we have that much perishable food at the moment, though, so it's not a super concern to have the fridge running at the moment. Man, my back hurts so much. It's a good find. It's a good find regardless. 2.8 liter V6. I would like a little bit of a heftier motor, I think. Engine in it, I think. It's a little hard to find big old engines, but we could probably manage. I think for now, we head inside and take a break from looting. We need to unload our stuff, and we're going to want to Oh, the reason I checked the vehicle was because I was going to drop my inventory in the vehicle and then go loot those corpses for the CBMs and stuff, and I failed to do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark, that would be over here, note corpses with CBM. At least one CBM is over there. We explore these here. My shift key is very loud for some reason. Go ahead and grab this and head into the base, drop our stuff off. So I think the RV is a good find. I don't know if you necessarily would feel so, but I think that that's a great starter kit for a Deathmobile because it's a little less toolbox. Oops, toolbox, not tool bow. We're going to keep that toolbox on us. It's a good starter. Instead of picking another vehicle that we would have to widen, I think that this is a fine starter. We don't need the claw bar. Do you have prying in the toolbox? One prying. So, to my understanding, one prying is no longer enough to pry doors and windows. So we do want to keep the claw bar on our person. Every other tool now is taken care of, however. Yeah. So I would like to record Everquest. In summation, I would like to record Everquest. I don't think anyone would watch it. But it would also be possibly a chance for people who are not exposed to Everquest to maybe at least see what it is, see why it was such a big deal, why people loved it so much. Or maybe you wouldn't understand it at all. And because it's such a grindy series, it would be very commentary rich because it would be just very repetitive and us having a conversation mostly. But anyway, that's one of the games that I can come back to every so often that I wanted to talk about. And the other is Magic the Gathering, which I don't think you want to hear me talk about because I'm going to just ramble. But either way, we're going to save that for the next episode. So for now, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Hope you're enjoying the series. I, of course, will be back with more Cataclysm in the near future. If you've been enjoying things, maybe consider liking, commenting, or subscribing. Please don't leave me any nasty, hateful comments because I'm just going to delete them and it's just going to just erode my mental health. Anyway, that's going to do it. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.